We are following the breaking news out of Texas, and it is heartbreaking news. 14 students and one teacher are dead, killed after a shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, just west of San Antonio. That is according to Texas Governor Greg Abbott. According to Governor Abbott, the gun...
Over the last couple of decades, guns have been a primary source of contention between two very conflicted sides. Some people argue that guns are a necessary right and that they can be beneficial, whilst others argue that mass shooting tragedies that happen are due to their ease of access in America. This helps raise the question, to what extent should the United States government impose laws to limit an individual's right to own firearms?
In 1999, two boys by the name of Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold went to Columbine High School with intent to kill, killing 12 students and injuring 21 others. Events like this were the first of many to come during that time, creating civil unrest in the category of gun control. This happening time and time again with events like Sandy Hook, Stoneman Douglas, and most recently, Robb Elementary, add more fuel to the already burning gun control argument when innocent children's lives are being taken at the hand of guns. Although guns are guaranteed by the Constitution, and there is evidence to back that they are unharmful, lack of restraint on guns and tragedies happening due to guns show that the government needs to step in and make a change.
Protests around the country calling for the government to impose stricter gun laws demonstrate the need for the government to make a change. In fact, 48% of America sees gun violence as a very big problem in the country today, demonstrated in the graph shown on the screen. A high percentage of people seeing it as a big problem shows the gravity of the issue and the frustration mass shootings cause citizens. Clearly, people understand that it is in the government's hands to make a change. As stated in an article by Dushwell, protesters carrying signs like "Disarm Hate" and "Change gun laws or change Congress" took to the streets in several major cities, including San Francisco and Baltimore. Overall, the problem of gun violence is in the hands of Congress and the American government system to come up with a solution to the issue, which protesters provide time and time again.
Secondly, consistent mass shooting tragedies prove that the government needs to impose serious limitations to guns in order to make a change. School shootings and other mass shootings are devastating events that dispel sorrow throughout the whole country when innocent lives are taken. For example, the most recent school shooting ended up killing 19 elementary school students. On top of this, the assault rifles used in the massacre were purchased legally just days before the event. This definitively shows that it is too easy to acquire weaponry that can cause lots of harm. As said in a CNN article, quote, "Tuesday's incident marks at least the 30th shooting in a K-12 school in 2020. So far, in 2020, there have been at least 39 shootings in K-12 schools, colleges, and universities, resulting in at least 10 deaths and 51 injuries." End quote. Once again, protesters and other gun control activists consistently offer ideas to Congress and the government, but legislation needs to be passed in order to see real change.
Despite lack of limitation of guns causing tragedies, there is evidence to prove that less strict accessibility of guns may be beneficial and even less harmful than policies with stricter gun control. There has been evidence and studies that prove that guns actually save lives and prevent gun violence deaths. For example, murder rates were 19.3% higher when the federal assault weapon ban was in effect, and AR-15s in the United States are the most popular for home protection, according to the National Assault Rifle Association. Along with this, the Constitution ensures the right that Americans can take up arms as it is guaranteed in the Second Amendment. The amendment states, "A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." So, although the government should step in to make stricter gun control laws, there's some serious reason to why there's resistance to any legislation being passed.
Despite this being claimed by the National Rifle Association, there is some question to the group's political credibility. This group is evidently right-leaning and could possibly be only presenting facts that support their claims. Leaders of the group have also said rather radical things revolving gun control, further throwing their credibility in the air. NRA Chief William LaPierre once said, "In this country, sadly, a callous, corrupt, and corrupting shadow industry sells and stows violence against its own people through vicious and violent video games." To many people, this may have seemed like a reach, and made people question the NRA's leadership. Although the question of limiting weaponry is still up for grabs, what do you think the government should do? Something else that is important to note is the political divide between people who are pro-gun and those who are against guns. In the graph shown on screen, you can clearly depict that there is a lot more Republican-leaning citizens who believe that gun control legislation is in a good position when compared to Democratic-leaning citizens. In addition, roughly 50% of people believe in favor of stricter gun control laws, whilst the rest don't, once again displaying the split belief down the middle. Lastly, there is an uncertainty to if stricter gun laws would provide safety in America, as a survey showed that about half of adults, 49%, say there would be fewer mass shootings if it was harder for people to obtain guns legally, while as many said this would make no difference. The abundance of information and the complexity of the argument makes the situation way more confusing than it seems at face value.
Currently, gun control activists protest and fight back using recent scenarios such as the Texas school shooting and statistics such as the amount of school shootings in the past year to prove their point of guns needing to be regulated way more, and that there needs to be serious legislation implemented by the American government. On the other hand, groups like the NRA fight back against their push, claiming facts similar to the ones stated on their website about assault rifles and large magazines. The government seems to be making pushes towards specific gun control laws that will help the activist cause of making a safer environment in schools, but nothing restrictive of the Second Amendment. In the future, we hope to see an equilibrium be found by the two groups where a safe environment is created in America, whether it be heavy on guns or against them completely.